This video might be a little normie friendly, but seriously, it still baffles me that the food pyramid as it is currently depicted is still being taught in schools to this day, right? It is quite literally the definition of a peasant slave's diet. The base of the pyramid, the most important building blocks, according to these people, according to these experts, is grains, is bread, is pasta, is all of these different things. And this is what the experts with degrees, with authority are going to tell you. But when you think about it for 2 seconds, once you can actually rub even just 2 brain cells together, you understand that, well, what is contained in grains? What is contained in bread? It is completely devoid of any valuable nutrition. It contains 10 times more gluten due to modern hybridization. Gluten being an indigestible molecule, it completely wreaks havoc on people's gut health nowadays. Even if you don't have celiac disease, gluten is still destroying you one way or another. It's one of the biggest causes of hair loss. And all of these grain-based products are sprayed with glyphosate Roundup, which is one of the most toxic pesticides that can be found on Earth. So if the base of your diet is grains, right, if that's the most important thing, it's basically over for you. And then you've got vegetables, which are prized for how important they are. But again, once you think about it for 2 seconds, again, this is not a conspiracy theory, it falls apart. Because what do vegetables contain? As far as nutrition that you need. Vegetables don't contain anything that you need that animal products don't contain, plus the fact that vegetables contain oxalates, lectins, phytates, and other harmful compounds that prevent the bioavailability of any kind of positive nutrition that you might be getting. Same thing for their incomplete proteins, right? 1 gram of protein from fruit and vegetables is not the same thing as 1 gram of protein. One is an incomplete protein, one is a complete protein. And you need all of these building blocks, all of these amino acids, which compose that gram of protein in order to function optimally as a human being. And then the least important food group is animal products. Oh yeah, you should eat them in moderation. What do you mean moderation? What did our ancestors, for the majority of the length of the existence of their genetic code, what did they eat during the Ice Age? What was consumed by your genetic code for 99% of its existence? Animal products, meat, eggs, dairy, fish, some fruit seasonally. Nobody was turning seeds into sludge to make up grain-based products. Nobody was doing any of that crap. Oh, but our ancestors lived until 25. Yeah, that's because of infant mortality. That's because the conditions of life were much tougher at the time. That's because people rarely even died of old age in the survival era. But they were infinitely healthier than us and had infinitely higher amounts of vitality and more dimorphic skulls. Even nowadays, you can see the difference between men who grew up in the 1900s versus men growing up today. Today, all you get is malformities, facial malformities because of these garbage diets. All you get is premature hair loss because of these garbage diets and this garbage lifestyle where you're told to avoid the sun. And there's absolutely nothing to look forward to in your life because you're a slave, so you become biochemically destroyed. That's where depression comes from. It's all interconnected. But it all starts with the food pyramid. And the main theory behind meat and animal products being at the least important echelon of the food pyramid is the theory of cholesterol causes heart disease. Complete lie that has been debunked thoroughly multiple times. It is ludicrous to even pretend like cholesterol causes heart disease because all of your cell membranes are made out of cholesterol. All of your hormones are actually made out of cholesterol. It is their primary building block, especially testosterone. And one thing that's funny about heart disease is that It's a very recent phenomenon. Heart disease barely existed 100, 200 years ago, let alone 1,000 years ago, right? Our ancestors who ate predominantly animal products did not get heart disease, because if it was that problematic, if consuming so much animal product and essentially inverting the food pyramid and actually eating our natural diet, which is the inversion of the pyramid basically, then we would not have survived. All of our ancestors would have died of heart disease before they even made it to our current day and age, right? And this stuff gets exacerbated by health gurus like Brian Johnson, who's like on a 100% plant-based diet, just eating vegetable grain sludge every single day. And the guy uses filters and all sorts of tricks and hair dye to make himself look younger. It's completely ridiculous. I am going to outlive Brian Johnson. I am actually going to look like I'm 25 at 45. 100%. I say that with the uttermost conviction. And unlike him, I reversed my hair loss naturally. Without dutasteride, without finasteride, with all of these bizarre little synthetic serums that he's using. None of that. So if he couldn't even do it naturally, then what the fuck does he know about diet and what humans are supposed to consume naturally? Lastly, I want to mention that you are likely deficient in basically every single nutrient and mineral, okay? The daily recommended amount is like the bare minimum until you start degenerating and you actually need to go to the hospital. But in order to function optimally, in order to be happy, in order to have vitality, in order to wake up every single day with a pole in your pants, then guess what? You need loads of these minerals, you need loads of sunlight, you need loads of cholesterol, you need loads of omega-3 fatty acids, and you're never gonna get that on a diet that is predominantly portions of grains and vegetables. Impossible, not a fucking chance. And the main thing the thing you have to understand as well is that our animal products today are consuming food from demineralized soils, right? They are not nearly as nutrient dense, even if consumed raw, than animals in the wild that are actually eating their proper diet from properly mineralized soils. So this is when certain supplements can help to bridge certain gaps. And this is the main reason why our ancestors could get away with eating animals in the wild and be perfectly healthy, because naturally speaking, they were eating those animals that were eating their natural diet in a mineralized environment, not these dry, shitty soils that these animals grow up consuming their food in. And they got loads of sunlight, they didn't have air pollution, they didn't have all of these different things that are poisoning us on a day-to-day basis. But I digress. Long story short, stop listening to your brain-dead school teachers. Stop listening to all of these health gurus, especially Brian Johnson, for the love of God. And most importantly, stop listening to all of the people in your life who have been brainwashed by the same mainstream knowledge that seeks to destroy them in order to make them sick, to take away their vitality so that they become easily controllable slaves that become cash cows to the medical establishment. Do your own research, use a little bit of common sense, and you will arrive to the same conclusions that I have. If you're still watching, I really appreciate you, and as always, keep ascending.